Now let's bring in the Shaina Low, communications advisor at the Norwegian Refugee Council, who joins us live from the occupied East Jerusalem. So I want to start by asking you, Antonio Guterres talked about appalling human suffering when he invoked this Article 99 at the UN. Would you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely. The stories that we are hearing from our staff on the ground are just unimaginable. People have lost their family members, their friends, their homes, their families' homes. The amount of death and destruction in Gaza is just beyond imagination. We desperately need a ceasefire now, a permanent, sustained ceasefire, so that to stop all of this killing, to stop all this destruction, and to allow for the people of Gaza to start their recovery and rebuilding, which will no doubt take years to come.
Now, Guterres also said that the healthcare system is collapsing. What kind of challenges are you facing when trying to provide help to the civilians?
Well, the Norwegian Refugee Council doesn't do a healthcare response, but just in terms of, I can speak to other types of humanitarian response, which is that our operations have basically been suspended in Gaza because it simply isn't safe and the conditions are not there in order to deliver an effective humanitarian response. It's unsafe for our staff to be out in the streets when there are ongoing hostilities, aerial assaults, ground operations. It's impossible for us to reach aid that we had pre-positioned in warehouses that had arrived during the 7-day pause and now is cut off from us because that aid is in the middle area and our staff are in the south. Most of our staff are in the south. And at the same time, what we're seeing is growing civil unrest because of the levels of desperation that it becomes incredibly difficult to safely distribute whatever aid we can access. Right now, what we're hearing from our staff on the ground is not only is aid unavailable, but the markets in Gaza have run out of stocks. Our staff has been telling us that stores have simply closed because they have nothing left to sell. That is how desperate we are, where people are struggling to find just food, water, and then, of course, the crisis of internally displaced people, many of whom have been displaced multiple times and now have nowhere to go. No shelters are available with space, and people are making do with whatever they can to just build makeshift tents wherever they can find space and materials.
Israel has produced this map, which it says people should use to find safe places to stay away from these attacks. What's your sense? Are people able to follow these instructions to stay safe?
Well, first of all, the flyers that Israel has been dropping from the sky have QR codes that need to be scanned in order to access these maps. Most people in Gaza do not have access to the internet because of the communications cuts and because of lack of electricity. So first of all, even getting that information is difficult. Second of all, the places that people are being told to flee to are not safe. There simply is no safe place in Gaza. We've been saying this for weeks, and it's becoming more and more apparent how true that is. We ourselves had staff flee the north after Israel's directive on October 13th, and then subsequently were bombed in the house they were seeking shelter in Rafah, killing multiple members of their family. So the reality is that Palestinians are not being guaranteed safe passage when they're being told to flee. They aren't being guaranteed safety to the places that they've been told to flee. Israel is even referring to those places not as safe, but as safer. And then finally, none of these people are being guaranteed their right to return home once hostilities have ended. So all of these factors combined create a forcible transfer under international law, which is a grave violation of international humanitarian law. These are crimes that need to stop.
Shaina Low with the Norwegian Refugee Council, thank you so much for joining us here on TRT World.